Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Little Saints talk here to finish up hour number one. The Saints have made some moves over the last 24 hours with their roster. Tre'Quan Smith and Kirk Merritt have both been cut. And I'm a little surprised that Tre'Quan Smith was released from IR because it's Tre'Quan Smith, not because of what the Saints roster looks like, because he was basically inactive all of camp in the preseason, and we saw some of the depth that emerged for the Saints at wide receiver, and I'm like, this looks like the end. And then they'd had their final cuts, and look at, nope, Tre'Quan made it. But you look at Olave and Thomas and Shaheed, who are clearly your top three, and then you've got Kirkwood and A.T. Perry and Lynn Bowden Jr., and then you've got Shaq Davis on the practice squad, and that's just a really deep and talented room. And Tre'Quan Smith has essentially carved out a niche on this roster as basically a blocker. And is that valuable enough to put him on the team? It's valuable. There's no doubt that having a wide receiver who's a quality blocker on the edge is very good, especially when you've got guys that you want to get the ball to quickly, like Shaheed and Kamara, and you want to get them on the edge. But when you start to look at the talent that they've assembled and the depth there, it's like, okay, that makes a ton of sense. And Kirk Merritt's just kind of been a nice guy to have around. He played some wide receiver. He can help you at running back. He can do some things on special teams. But, again, the Saints look to be kind of manipulating the roster a little bit to potentially make some additions. And the question is, like, what addition would they go make? And I saw an interesting name that popped up on the old interwebs, the name that you'll be familiar with here in this market, because he played high school here and he played college here. It's La'el Collins. Now, La'el has been dealing with injuries for the majority of his NFL career. He had a really good run with the Cowboys, played a lot of guard for them, kicked out and played some right tackle. The Bengals signed him. He played some right tackle for them. Then he got hurt. He's dealt with back injuries and knee injuries, and it's been a tough go over the last 4 years for La'el Collins. But you understand that the Saints have had massive issues at the offensive line. So does La'el Collins make sense as a guy to bring in? Well, here's the deal. La'el Collins has spent his most recent time in the NFL at right tackle. If there's one spot on the offensive line you're not moving, it's right tackle. I don't think you're moving Ramczyk over to left tackle, even if Penning is struggling. That would be a Hurst situation. Ramczyk's your right tackle, and that's what La'el has played. Now, he's played some guard as well, but you also have options at guard that you've invested in. And so I don't know if it's a great fit from a roster perspective, and I don't know how healthy he is to contribute. So I wouldn't be against the Saints finding another option on the offensive line because what they've got right now hasn't been working. But I don't know that a mainly right tackle with some swing possibilities is the best option. I don't know what you do with Hurst and Pete, and you've got Saldiveri that you think is going to be a good player that you just drafted this year, and you've got Ramczyk, and like, it's a mess, but I don't think it gets cleaned up with La'el Collins. I don't mind them going to get a new offensive lineman, but here's really the crux of the situation with the Saints offensive line. The guys they're putting out there have to play better. That's the answer. It's not necessarily free agency. It's not bringing a rookie up in Saldiveri and putting him in there. It's not, it's hey, you five guys that we've invested high draft picks and contract extensions and lots of dollars, you got to do a better job. I don't have another way to say it. So you can scour free agency and look at the waiver wire and look at guys that may be available. And I'm not telling you not to do that because it would behoove you to survey all options. But the best option is going to be, hey, all you guys that we took in the first round, figure it out. And maybe they don't. And if they don't, then they won't be very good this year. If they do, they've got a chance to be a team that's playing real meaningful football in January. They're not great at quarterback, and they may not have the best play caller in the league, but if they block better, they'll have a real chance because you're not asking this offense to go out there and get you 35. You don't have to look like the Dolphins, okay? You've just got to be competent. You've got to move the ball. You got to score in the red zone. You got to put up 24 points. If you put up 24 points over the last 11 games, you'd be 11-0. So we'll see if the Saints are making some roster moves to try to go do something in free agency. I just think they got to play better on the offensive line. That's where I'm settled. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.